What would you do if your online store converted 36% more shoppers? You could take 36% more vacation.
Another pina colada?
Yes, please.
Open a new retail location with 36% more square feet.
Fantastic.
Hire 36% more help.
You're hired and you're hired.
Shopify has the world's best converting checkout, up to 36% better than other e-commerce platforms. What you do with those extra sales is up to you. Switch to Shopify today at shopify.com/listen and get a $1 trial. Shopify.com/listen.
Hey, I'm Chris Van Vliet. Go behind the scenes and beyond the headlines with the biggest names in pro wrestling and beyond.
Mr. Sandman.
All I ever wanted to be was a pro wrestler. So I got to live my life and make people really happy.
The Heartbreak Kid himself, Shawn Michaels.
Do you think there's anybody better than you were?
I think I was great at what I did, and I think other people were great at what they did as well. Greatness is more a mindset, I think, than anything else.
Mindset, motivation, insight with Chris Van Vliet. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
It is 1 o'clock. Welcome back in the fourth and final hour. Three-man front. We're live at Social Taco here on Jocks. Conrad, Pat, Landrum, Molly with you until 2 o'clock. And it has just been a stunning last 20 minutes of soccer over in Atlanta, Landrum. And the unthinkable, if you're an Egyptian fan, has occurred.
The result is the same as last night, but I was telling you guys during the break, give me last night's we never had a prayer, this was over before it started result, if it's going to end in a loss, as opposed to we're up 2-0 with half of the fourth quarter, if we go college football, left. And not only do we allow Argentina to come back and tie it, no, 3 straight unanswered goals. And now, as time's about to expire, Argentina's going to move on.
Yeah, there were 5 minutes left in extra time when Argentina scored the third goal. So they're now up 3-2.
3 goals in 13 minutes.
That's
I credit all the
amazing.
training at Jordan Hare in Auburn.
Yes,
absolutely.
Probably so. Joining us now on the Higginbotham Hotline, Demetri Ravanos joins the program. He was texting with me in Landrum last night during the unfortunate occurrence that happened in Seattle, Washington. Mate, how you doing on this Tuesday?
I am good. I will tell you, I got up to go pick up my son from the class he was at today, and I am just now learning Argentina is not eliminated from the World Cup.
Isn't that something? They're like zombies. You can't kill them. They're like Indiana football in 2025. You just cannot beat them.
You know, Belgium got to the point of playing us because they did basically the same thing against Senegal, man.
Yeah.
These upstart countries are great stories, but at the end of the day, if you have future World Soccer Hall of Famers on your bench, you're probably going on to the next round, no matter what the score is.
Where are we falling short besides the scoreboard against teams like Belgium?
Well, I mean, number one, like, Belgium was just so stacked, right? I'm sure you guys have heard that we are in what is considered our golden generation of international soccer talent on the U.S. roster. Belgium is kind of at the back end of theirs, and a guy who didn't even get into the game last night, Kevin De Bruyne, is considered one of the best to ever play in the Premier League. That's where we're falling short. We don't have that depth. And certainly, you know, a goalkeeper that understands how to play the position would help a lot as well.
That is typically an important position to have locked down, Demetri. So how disappointed, and you know soccer better than I do, but I feel like for the last couple of years now, all I've heard about is how great Christian Pulisic is. This is the guy that's going to be the savior for American soccer. He's going to be the LeBron James of this generation of American soccer. He is the chosen one, so to speak. And I couldn't help. I felt throughout the entire tournament. I know he was banged up at times, but he just never really lived up to the billing. How disappointed were you in Pulisic and his performance, particularly last night, where it felt like we just needed a superstar out there and he fell short?
Yeah, I mean, he had a much better World Cup in 22 than he did in this one, and last night was a perfect picture of that, man. 11 turnovers in the first half, credited to him alone. You know, the injuries, the banged up, that's part of the story. Like, Pulisic is kind of fragile. He's always banged up, especially in these big moments. It sucks. I don't think the guy is like a bum or anything. I just think, you know, it's sort of like, think of whatever five-star recruit you want to that comes on campus to a ton of hype, and you just never see him get better than he was when he first got on campus. Like Pulisic came up a way most American soccer players do not, where he was in one of these European academy systems from a young age and got all of his training that way. And I think we were hoping, or we had convinced ourselves, he was going to become something he just really wasn't capable of. He's still a World Cup talent, still a great player for the U.S., or has been, but in these biggest moments, him disappearing is not abnormal.
So he's Ryan Williams.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good comparison for right now, because he has had some of those moments that make the eyes bug out of your head. But they are fewer and further between this year than they were the last World Cup.
Let me ask you about Pochettino, because word is that there has been an extension on the table. He makes $6 million a year as the head coach of the U.S. men's national team. A lot of rumors that he may not be back. What's your opinion on him and the job he's done?
I was very impressed by him in the World Cup. My son is sitting right next to me, and he will be happy to tell you how much he is sick of me complaining about Pochettino in the lead up to the World Cup. But his system seemed to work for us. I would not be opposed to running it back at all. That being said, I could totally understand, especially when you saw what this team was in the tune-up matches. I could understand why on the biggest stage he might have attracted some attention, and maybe he has better options on the table now than just the U.S. national team.
For the overall growth of the sport, engagement by people like me, Pat, Conrad, that don't normally watch soccer, did the U.S. help itself, or did last night ultimately hurt those folks as far as their future watching?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know that it hurts those folks. I do think that what it could do, what this entire World Cup run could do to help soccer in America, it's not the same as what the NHL was hoping for out of the gold medal in hockey, because I think as a U.S. soccer fan, you have to accept the way people younger than you and I, Landrum, watch like the NBA. They don't have teams, they have guys. If you're a U.S. soccer fan, like Balogun plays for a team in France, Pulisic plays for a team in Italy, Chris Richards plays for a team in England, like you are just going to have to lock into your guys. And for a guy like Richards, if everyone there in Alabama is a fan of the Hoover native, he's pretty easy to follow in the Premier League. In the U.S., it's not as easy to follow Balogun in League One in France.
So, Demetri, what do you make of – I think it's an interesting conversation that we've had with a couple of people over the last couple of days, but essentially the narrative that in other countries, right, you have your premier athletes are soccer stars. And here in the United States, they go and play football or baseball or basketball. Do you think there's a future where maybe you have more of those top-end athletes that go towards soccer in the United States, or are we just always kind of going to be stuck in the world that we live in because we put such an emphasis on the other sports? Not saying I want, the premier athletes in the NFL for, to go to soccer necessarily, but do you think that there's a future where that maybe happens?
I think U.S. soccer's biggest problem from a development level is whereas why has France been able to go from one superstar era to the next? Well, because all of these clubs in France identify kids from the moment they are able to kick a ball, get them in their youth academies, and develop them exactly the way they want them. They make money off of these kids. They are part of youth teams that travel and play. And in the U.S., we're still in a system where youth sports cost thousands of dollars to participate. Like we have set up, and soccer, more than any other sport, the price is almost prohibitive to be able to develop. I think we have cut off the ability for kids to get the coaching, the kind of coaching that is pretty common in Europe and in South America, unless they are of a certain economic class. And if you're doing that, you've cut out a whole portion of the talent pool that is bound to choose other sports regardless of how popular they are.
All right, Demetri, so over the weekend, social media was abuzz because of a potential announcement about the college football bubble bath. Would you like to share with our audience that announcement?
Yes, the college football bubble bath has gone to internet bit heaven. And last Friday, the Friday after last, was the last episode. And so now I have joined the cast of our little more play it down the middle, straight lace football show, Chewing Clock, which you can hear every Monday and Wednesday on SEC Unfiltered.
I told you, you keep the areolas below the suds, and you never would have been taken off.
Listen, I have argued that I should get to do at least the first 5 weeks shirtless so that my audience transitions to the new normal.
Pasties, at least.
But, yeah, so far it's fallen on deaf ears, but you and I are on the same page, Lane.
Go SEC pasties. See how that goes over.
I think that's a great idea.
It's the perfect shape.
Yeah, that's. There you go. Oh, they would love that at the office in Birmingham. All right, Demetri. So it's the summer months. We like to ask you movie questions pretty frequently now. So I saw yesterday, I guess. I don't know if you've seen this, but the Odyssey comes out next Friday. And I guess the first reviews for it came out yesterday, and apparently it's the greatest movie ever made. Have you seen similar reactions online, and how excited are you for the biggest movie of the summer that comes out next week?
Yeah, I'm intrigued. I don't know that I'm as excited as you are, Conrad.
I'm very excited.
I am. Oh, I can tell. I feel like we've talked about it 5 weeks in a row. I am excited. I think Chris Nolan is a great filmmaker, and I'm interested to see what he does here. I do think that every reviewer goes into his movies because of the way he makes movies. He tries to limit the amount of digital effects and really tries to do things the old-fashioned way. I think people go in having decided they are going to love this movie. So I try to avoid reviews until I actually see his stuff.
That is Demetri Ravanos joining us from SEC Unfiltered here on Three Man Front. Meet, enjoy the rest of the tournament as it's now official. Argentina will advance as they overcame the 2-0 deficit. They get the big win in Atlanta. Messi crying. Everybody's happy in Buenos Aires this afternoon. So they're happy.
Yeah. Let's just fast forward to what we know is going to happen, the Argentina-France rematch.
They might not be happy in the Falkland Islands unless England wins the national. But sorry.
Yeah, they hold on to grudges.
Yeah, they do. Meet, have a great rest of the week. We'll talk to you next Tuesday.
Thanks, Meet.
All right, boys. Talk to y'all next week.
Talk to you soon.
Bye, Meet.
He joined us on the Higginbotham Hotline. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services.
When's that? The Odyssey, when did you guys read that? Was that high school?
I think for me it was middle school.
Ninth grade? I was thinking ninth
I
grade.
think 8th grade, 8th or 9th.
Been a minute.
Pat and Molly just flexing on what level they got to read the Odyssey.
They were on the advanced course.
It was not my favorite, but I'd be willing to watch the movie. I think the movie might be more entertaining to Landrum.
Yes. I'll go read the synopsis of the book again just to refresh and then go watch the movie.
Yeah. There's a golf hole. It's a par 3. I've named the Odyssey.
Did you?
Not sure if there's a magnetic field. It's like a Bermuda Triangle type thing.
It's like every hole for me.
Yeah, we appreciate Demetri joining us. All of our guests join us on the Higginbotham Hotline. We still got questions from Pat. We'll try to answer. We continue to entertain with our friends here at Social Taco in Homewood. They're in the Terrace. You can join us. We're here until 2 o'clock. They're open all afternoon and evening long. Don't forget about half-off happy hour. More Three-Man Front next. Three-Man Front, we continue from Social Taco here in Homewood. We still got Pat Ponders, other things we're going to get to. Remind you about our friends at EcoView Windows and Doors, locally owned and operated. Becky Jackson, she's just a sweet, sweet human being. But her husband, her son, they're a part of the EcoView team. EcoView Windows and Doors, it's a national brand, but locally owned, independently operating here in Alabama by great Alabamians. They can do anything from the low-cost windows to the glamorous and anything in between. They get a pledge to save you at least 35% on your heating and cooling in the first 12 months of installation once you replace all the windows and doors. And a lot of times it's same day. They're in and they're out. It's EcoView Windows and Doors. Right now, all of our Jocks listeners get the free estimate by calling 205-564-8480. 205-564-8480, or go to ecoviewwindows.com. Tell Becky and her talented team that Landrum from Jock sent you.
So today is the beginning of Big 12 Media Days in Frisco, Texas. Big shock. Brett Yormark, also known as P.T. Barnum for most people, he stood up there. He was asked about the Sorsby situation. He says, today is not the day to address that. End of quote. So you just have to ask yourself the question, well, when is a better time than having hundreds of media that cover your stupid conference in attendance? Are we going to ask you 20 questions about the Monster Energy drink sugar-free version? Is that what we're doing?
Wait for the Big 12 storied. That's when that comes out. We'll hear from Yormark 15 years from now on a July morning.
Yeah, it's like, well, when are you going to address it?
I don't know. He wasn't ready to answer that or the tortilla question, so he was really thrown for a loop today.
Yeah, tortilla question did get him.
The only thing that decent came out of Big 12 Media Days so far is the fact that they have aligned themselves with the ACC, that you will have the behind-the-scenes inner workings of replay. You will be able to hear the communication between the replay official and the official on the field, how all of that works. I think the ACC, major kudos to Jim Phillips, Ph.D., and those great people bringing that to the table a couple seasons ago, and now the Big 12 will do so.
So tell me if I'm reading too much into this, but I saw, and I know you shared it or part of it, but his comments about playoff expansion and how it was, well, we liked the 16 idea, but then we thought 24 might be a better fit for us, but we've still got to figure out the economics and just make sure that it all makes sense. Did they not already come out as a conference and back the 2014 model?
Absolutely.
So I just thought it was interesting that now he's saying, well, we're not totally sure about it, but we've already publicly declared that we're in favor of it.
Well, maybe now that
it doesn't make sense.
Monster Energy has given them so much money because of this new deal, maybe they don't have to have 24 teams in the college football playoff. Maybe they're okay with 16. Yeah, I mean, he mentioned the fact that now the conference commissioners have begun the formal discussions around CFP expansion and that more access is needed as too many great teams are still left out.
Or he just doesn't think there's any way that 24 is going to pass, and he doesn't want to hitch his wagon all to 24 where it looks like the Big 12 didn't get their way.
Yeah, maybe so, but I guess my whole point was you kind of already hitched your wagon to the 2014 playoff.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't forget about that, Brett.
So off the top of your head,
Some SEC coaches did as well.
What great team was left out last year?
The only one I think you could make an argument for was Notre Dame. They could have gone in and actually made some noise. I don't think BYU or Utah was going to do that.
No.
I don't think Texas or Vanderbilt, maybe a game, but Notre Dame, in my eyes, was the only team that got left out that I could have seen.
But I said great team. Did you consider Notre Dame a great team?
They were really good.
I didn't consider them the level they were the year before.
No, I didn't either.
I agree.
I did not think of them as a great team. There was not a great team that was not in the college football playoff. So this whole thing is going to be diluted whether you go to 16 or you go to 24.
Yeah, there were multiple teams in the playoff that were not great teams.
No.
They were really good teams.
Well, as parity continues to play out, who's to say we don't get a watered-down 12?
I mean, did anyone actually think that Alabama or Oklahoma was going to win the national championship last year?
No. And so that by that point, you making that statement right there, Pat, just tells you what you need to know about the current one that we have. I mean, you take out James Madison, save you James Madison and Tulane or whoever, your Boise State, maybe that's the team this year. No, you take that out of the equation. How many teams legitimately do you look at? I think, 4 last year could have? Where you think about certain matchup, certain team, maybe this team upsets that team, you kind of play it out. You say, well, I could see them beating in a title game, but most of those teams, no.
For me, 3 of the 5 teams that made the college football playoff had no chance of winning it last year.
Excluding Tulane and James Madison?
I said SEC.
Oh, SEC teams.
No,
Yeah.
I said SEC.
No,
I said
Ole Miss and Georgia were the ones that you looked at and said, yeah, I could see them doing something, and Ole Miss almost did. But, yeah, I would agree with that.
That was the only 2 that I thought had a legitimate chance to win the national championship. Everything else was window dressing.
Yeah,
I agree.
And going into this season, how many schools do we see legitimate chance to win a SEC?
2. Texas and Georgia.
Texas and Georgia?
Yeah. Those are the only ones I could see actually winning a national championship.
And those would be the most common. 1A, 1B, however you want to look at it, is this team's going to win the title and the other team's going to be the runner-up. And we'll get to see that matchup again, one that has not favored the Texas Longhorns.
No, it was not.
I mean, it might not matter. It could be Gunnar Stockton. It might be whoever.
Well, it didn't matter last time.
Stetson Bennett the 11th.
It was Gunnar Stockton's first game, and he came in there and took care of business. So, yeah. Well, according to Bill Bender, it won't go Texas's way this year either, because they have Georgia winning the SEC championship.
Yes, they do. And got them playing. We got Notre Dame in the title game, and Indiana doing it again. I think maybe outside of the SEC, the team I'm most sure of is just Indiana, based on their schedule and who they have.
In terms of getting back to a playoff?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, then I think Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame was going to be really, really good, but they also have a very easy schedule. And Ohio. I mean, I always feel good about Ohio State, but who doesn't?
I just saw this released moments ago by Fox Sports. 30 million people tuned in for Belgium and the United States last night.
That's a lot of sad people.
Million. It was the most watched soccer telecast in United States history.
Yeah, you just hope it wasn't like we saw in the UFL with the Stallions in the opener with the Orlando Storm. Remember, we got 19,000 in the stands, and it was great.
And you feel like you got burned a little bit?
Yeah, well, you got by the performance on the field, you got burned a lot.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
The peak audience was 37 million viewers, and that happened between 8:15 and 8:30 Central Time.
That would have been right at the beginning of the second half?
Sounds about right.
Right before we gave up the unfortunate third goal on the goalie.
Yes.
Running halfway across the field.
So you think you got 30 million watching on Fox, which you're probably going to get another 9 million on Telemundo, and probably another million or so probably watching on Peacock. So when it's all said and done, the final number is going to be about 5 to 6 million short of an AFC or NFC championship game. But still an incredible number.
Incredible number. It was great. Just disappointing last night, the way that the game played.
Yeah, almost double the audience of the college football playoff national championship game.
Well, I enjoyed the national championship game a lot more as a viewer than what I saw last night.
Last night was more Rose Bowl, wasn't it?
Yeah. I just hate how many things we've been able to draw parallels to that game this year in other sporting events that have just not gone our way.
I didn't feel good the whole night. Even after Tillman's goal, still didn't feel good.
Well, and I kind of brought this up this morning, but after, when you had that amazing save, which credit to our goalkeeper, he did have an amazing save about 30 seconds into the game. Even that should have been a sign of, oh, okay, like they're doing that this quickly. That's not good.
No,
that's not good.
It was with a tall guy that had the perfectly parted straight hair.
He did. He had.
When he have 2 goals last night, and coming into last night he had 7 all time in the World Cup. He's been playing forever. Yeah, it's
pretty good.
Pretty early indicator that things are not going to go your way.
Well, the guy that we had, I guess, covering him, whatever the term, if that's the right soccer term for that, he's a good bit bigger than him. Didn't matter.
It's bad.
Didn't matter. Good old Tim Ream.
I'll tell you what does matter. It's 5 questions Pat is so thoughtful in putting together. We'll try to answer them as a group. Pat Ponders on the way next on 3-Man Front.
We're back on 3-Man Front. We're live at Social Taco. Big story coming out of Big 12 Media Days. A league-wide jersey patch affiliation with Monster Energy Drink, not the SEC, but the Big 12. The Big 12 is going to earn around $20 million annually, which will be distributed to the individual schools. Each school will get roughly around $1 million, and then the rest will end up in the coffers of the Big 12 Conference. So a big announcement coming from Dallas, Texas earlier today.
5 questions from Pat we'll try to answer. This is what we call Pat Ponders.
All right, question number 1, another World Cup, another disappointing finish for the United States. If you had to compare the U.S. men's national team to a college football program, high expectations, and up-and-coming power, etc., who would it be and why?
I went Texas A&M, just the lack of championships.
That's a good one.
But they've sniffed it. They've kind of been on that stage. You go back to 2010, just the buzz, but expectations mainly. Texas A&M seems like a good one.
Ooh, that's a really good comparison there. I'm going to go, and maybe this might be too much of a compliment to the United States men's team. See, I think of like an Oregon almost, where, now granted, we've never, I guess, played in like a World Cup final. Like Oregon's had their chance at a couple of national championships, but like, I always buy into the hype. I'm always convinced they always have the flash and, this is gonna be the guy that takes them over the top. And every couple years you get back into that cycle with Oregon, but yet every single time they come up short. But Texas A&M, that's really good.
I would say either A&M or even like a Penn State maybe. I don't know. I feel like with Penn State they can never win the big one, and that kind of is how that felt this year. Like, I was kind of thinking Penn State.
Penn State's really good too.
Yeah, that's a good one, because if you would just say if you would insert a coach as opposed to a team, I would say James Franklin is right up there.
Right, yeah.
Although he's not at Penn State anymore, but he had plenty of good teams at Penn State and never won anything.
Lane Kiffin.
Another good one.
Similar conversation there.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got a lot of options.
All right, staying on the World Cup theme, from a broadcast standpoint, from studio show, announcers, sideline analysis, on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you put Fox's coverage?
I put it at a 9. I don't watch a whole lot of soccer coverage, but I watch a lot of sports coverage, and just based on what you just talked about, whether it's set, whether it's delivery, content, personalities, I thought they did an outstanding job.
Yeah, it was really, really good. I was going to go 8 or 9.
I'd say 9.5.
9.5. Yeah, I was going to go 8 or 9. I think it was really good, especially considering, a lot of like the minute details, some of the things that they get into sometimes we don't really understand. Much like somebody that's a casual college football fan would have a similar thought about some of those pregame programs. But yeah, I thought it was really, really good. I think it had that good dynamic too, where you had kind of the Alexi Lawless and Zlatan like rivalry a little bit, where you could tell that they had to work together, but they didn't always get along, but it worked, right? And it kind of had that inside the NBA kind of a dynamic, almost like with a Chuck and a Shaq, where they get along, but at the same time they don't always get along, and there's like kind of that rift there, but it's entertaining.
I appreciate the fact that I think that they were constantly reminded that there were folks like us watching, because I felt like they went out of their way to describe basic things, but they did it in a way where they weren't talking down to you.
You didn't feel stupid.
Right.
Yeah. That's a good point.
No, I would give it a 9. I think they've done a really good job, and especially to more of, I guess, the casual fan, because, none of us are soccer fans unless it is the United States playing in the World Cup. Like, I've never really watched soccer outside of the World Cup, but I think they've done a good job of, kind of catering more to that fan base, really, kind of helping us Americans, even though we might not understand a lot of it, but not dumbing it down too much, kind of like what Conrad said. But, no, I think they've done the pregame shows have been awesome. I think the announcers have been incredible, too. It's been fun. I really liked it.
I've enjoyed this more just because of the fanfare and the different people getting to witness them experience our country for the first time.
Right.
Yeah.
Not just the Bucky stuff, just everything. And so many positive social media posts from folks who there's the girl from Scotland. I know that you guys have probably seen her, but she was talking about the best restaurant she ate in the States, and it was Liberty Restaurant there in Scottsboro. And she was just talking about the Southern hospitality and how nice people were. That has nothing to do with the broadcast, but that's a part of why I've enjoyed this World Cup so much.
Next question. Colorado's sports books, they have just released their May betting numbers, and the results are eye-opening. Bettors wagered $469 million across the state's 10 licensed sports books, with operators posting $45 million in revenue. The most interesting takeaway, though, is the sports drawing the biggest betting handles. The NBA was number 1 in the month of May in the state of Colorado, followed by baseball. Table tennis was third. $34 million was wagered in the state of Colorado alone on table tennis. Fourth was soccer. So the question is, what's the most obscure sport or event you've ever placed a bet on?
maybe back in college when they would do, me and my buddies would watch like the Ocho stuff on ESPN when they'd have like the drone racing or whatever, and you'd be sitting there drinking a couple cold ones like, I got $10 on this one.
So drone racing?
Probably, yeah. But that's the only time I would have ever watched it, was just like, oh,
yeah,
this one day out of the year.
Ooh.
I mean, for me, it's nothing.
Okay.
Not even a friendly bet with your friends?
Not on an obscure sport, no.
I thought you and your friends were big on the luge.
I can't say we are. Very
Okay.
sorry. Yeah, sorry to disappoint you.
That's unfortunate. Thought y'all had the stopwatches and everything, just to double check the times.
Do they use stopwatches?
No, but Molly and her friend, just to make sure that they're
training.
Yeah, not getting cheated.
Understand. Obscure sport
or event. It could be, how long is the Star Spangled Banner at the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I've bet on that before. That would be one. Or just randomly, if you've ever been just sitting with your buddy somewhere and maybe you're just people watching and you throw out the bet, like, do you think that woman gets...
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
There was I don't want to name the restaurant, but it was in downtown Birmingham, and we saw two, it's going to be awful, we saw two homeless people get into a fight, and we wagered on which one we thought was going to win. One of them brought out a wooden plank.
Oh, no.
And that one won.
Okay.
So, kind of an unfair advantage.
Yeah. Yeah. If it's a no holds barred, though.
It was dinner and a show. I mean, we were sitting outside. It was nice weather, and got to watch that.
What about you, Pat? Darts?
It was sometime during COVID. It was one of those stupid sports.
You did you dabbled in the table tennis.
Yeah, I think it was like Czechoslovakian.
Yeah, it was international.
Yeah, table tennis. It was during COVID.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's it. Just think about Colorado. But $460, almost $500 million was wagered in the state of Colorado in the month of May.
It's a lot of money.
But 34 of that 469 came from table tennis.
See that?
Who knows?
Are we assuming that's all international, or they're local?
I
are there
no idea.
semi-pro table tennis leagues?
I mean, Brendan Sorsby was one example. How many others do you think are out there in this country that
True.
are probably wagering more money, and on more obscure sports?
So, see, the 10 sports books, they made $45 million in profit, which is then taxed by the state of Colorado, which then goes into state services.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, here in Alabama, there's $1 billion, that experts tell us that is wagered illegally in the state of Alabama. That state of Alabama gets zero taxes off that $1 billion.
That'd be good for the roads.
That is wagered. Go figure.
Public
you would think
education.
so.
A few different things they could go for, probably. That'd be
few.
good.
Yeah.
Our roads are perfect. What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah. It's fantastic. Just drive around Jefferson County. It's tremendous. All right, number 4. Reports say Chiefs kicker Harrison Butker was the only active Kansas City player not invited to the Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift's wedding at Madison Square Garden. The reported snub is believed to stem from the backlash surrounding Butker's controversial 2024 commencement speech. So if you're in that situation, how do you think the decision was communicated to Butker? Was it a direct conversation? Was it just a quiet omission from the guest list, or handled some other way?
I'm going quiet omission.
Yeah, I'm going quiet omission.
And if you're
Nobody had the
Butker,
nerve to actually tell him.
yeah, and if you're Butker, I think you take that as a, maybe you're disappointed because, I don't know how close him and Travis are, but I guess I have the attitude of if that's the kind of thing that's going to prevent you from being a good teammate or then almost wear it like a badge of honor if you're Butker a little bit.
Send him a gift?
So be it.
I'd send him a gift.
Yes.
I think it was a quiet omission, personally. Especially a teammate like that. Yeah.
If he wasn't a kicker.
If that's Patrick Mahomes, he's still getting invited.
Because you want to talk about messing up a locker room?
Yep.
See, to me, you give them an invite, but you pretty much communicate. Look, we're checking a box here. You're on the team. You got an invite.
Yeah.
Probably be a good idea if you don't come.
Well, that's what I did when I invited y'all to my wedding.
You picked it on a Friday night where you knew we were working.
I didn't want to miss Alabama football.
Strategically played. Yeah, but that doesn't surprise me. I don't think it surprises anybody, right?
No, based on the guest list and all the people that they invited, there's no way that Taylor Swift was going to allow somebody with a dissenting opinion of her political background. There's no way that she was going to allow that.
No. Her day.
Was Steven Spielberg there? There's no way. All of Biden's boys? There's no way. That was not going to happen.
I just have to throw this out there. Was anybody else, and Molly, maybe you can peel the curtain back on this a little bit. Adam Sandler officiated the wedding. Is there some sort of a connection there?
Well, maybe because.
Maybe from the movie?
Yeah, Kelsey was in the movie.
That just, when I saw that, I thought it was a joke, and then I was like, oh, that's real.
I'll be honest with you, I have no idea.
I didn't know if they were good buddies or something.
What faith? What are they? What's her is it denomination we know?
Not sure.
Okay.
Couldn't tell you. Couldn't
All
tell
right,
you.
Cool.
Last question of the day comes courtesy of BB. Hope to see BB soon. She writes, when we get a new vehicle, most of us want to see what it can do, within reason, of course. But one Texas man took that idea a little bit too far. He was arrested after driving his brand new Tesla Cybertruck into a lake to test its wade mode. Turns out the feature does has its limits, and the truck wound up submerged, forcing him to abandon it in the water. When you've bought a new car or truck, have you ever put it in test and immediately regretted it, or are you the type of person who treats a new vehicle with kid gloves from day one?
No, I remember when I bought my new truck, it had OnStar in it.
Okay, yeah.
And I mistakenly hit one of the I'm in trouble buttons.
And
it worked. Yeah, it worked. Came over there.
Wait, so the car was parked, or you like traveling down the interstate and somebody's like
traveling down the interstate?
Someone's like trying to chase you down, like, what's wrong with this man?
Yep.
Really?
No.
No,
I was hitting something else. I wasn't I was
just
unsure what all the buttons did.
Yeah.
And apparently I hit the wrong one. But sure enough.
I'm just imagining you driving down the road and saying, pull over. You know?
No, but interestingly enough, so all of that happens. Keep going. And this is a stretch heading down to the beach, and you hit that stretch where there's kind of no man's land, and there's really no gas station, nothing in sight. And I realize I am really low on fuel.
Yeah.
Super low. So I had to call him back, and I was like, this was before I didn't have Waze or anything on my.
Yeah.
And, hey, where's the nearest gas station? Well, sir, how many? What is the truck showing that you have left? I'm like, oh, okay. They're like, all right, we're going to stay on the phone with you. So the guy did.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never had, not when I've gotten a car, but when I got rid of my first car that I got when I was 16, I had a buddy, and, we were young and stupid, but I had a buddy who had always asked me, because he drove a truck, and I had a sedan, and he was always like, man, one day, will you just let me, we'll go on a back road somewhere like a county and just, let it rip. I'm like, no, I'm not going to let you do that in my car. Well, before I got rid of the car, and, it was an old, it wasn't in great shape. I wasn't getting a lot for it anyways. I here's your chance. I'm getting a new car, and he took it to about 120.
Oh,
wow.
In hindsight, not a good idea, but we ended up being fine, but a little scary.
I've only had a new car once, and that was when I turned 16, and I still happen to drive the same car. No, I was super careful with it because my parents were like, hey, just so you know, this is the only car you're getting. Next one's on you, so.
You didn't do donuts in the snow at Nebraska?
No, I did not.
That'd
did
be
not.
fun.
I had a Casio Rich watch. I wanted to see how deep I could get it. It still worked. It wasn't as deep as I thought.
No?
No, it just seized up.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
That is today's Pat Ponders live from Social Taco here on Jocks.
Yeah, we'll continue. The worst thing I've seen, some more of your texts. You've seen some bad stuff too. Three-man front as we roll on. 150 three-man front. We continue here from Social Taco. The worst thing I've seen coming up momentarily, but first.
Well, the Alabama heat and humidity can be brutal, but don't let it affect your home and family. Keep them comfortable with an affordable Train cooling system. Recognized as America's most trusted HVAC brand for 12 consecutive years, you can truly rely on a Train. So go and find a comfort specialist near you at Train.com.
Before we get to the worst thing you've seen, this is really good news. Dick Vitale, he posted on social media a little bit earlier today. Just received great news from my oncologist, Dr. Richard Brown, as he said the PET scan showed significant improvement in my melanoma. Very pleased with the immunotherapy treatments. They have been successful. Time for some rigatoni marinara.
Hey,
So,
Dickie V.
some good news. So before you tell us the worst
amen.
thing you've said, some good news
Very
for
nice.
Dick Vitale.
Well, we see good, like what Pat just described. We see bad. That's what I'm going to describe. This is the worst thing that I've seen. All right, Molly, you got family in Michigan. You once lived there, head on a swivel, I hope. Cases of a parasite that can cause explosive diarrhea have quickly quadrupled in Michigan, skyrocketing to 681 people just yesterday. That's up from 170 cases in the state less than a week ago. Michigan, by far, is the hardest hit state of this parasite.
But it's elsewhere?
Yes, it is elsewhere. New York State officials.
It's like 5 states, I think, right?
Yep, Illinois, they're involved.
But
Yes.
for right now, we're safe.
Right now,
nowhere in the South yet?
Yes, if we're,
Okay.
it's in Big Ten country.
Okay, well,
That's awful.
that's good.
It is awful. It's terrible. Let's see. Folks who get infected may not experience any symptoms at all, though dramatic cases involve watery, explosive diarrhea, according to the CDC.
Just love that had watery in there with the I just kind of assumed
They are
that when it's
painting a picture.
explosive.
The more dramatic cases of cyclosporiasis feature the explosiveness. While cyclosporiasis is usually contracted through contaminated food like produce, experts have yet to identify the specific source of the current outbreak. For those who do get sick, identifying the infection of cyclosporiasis can be difficult, requires special lab tests, and they're looking for the cyclospora, which are not part of standard stool tests. How does it get here? Their question. Raw fruits, vegetables, including basil, cilantro, and lettuce. If it had the cyclospora, the microscopic parasite on it, and it was contaminated with its feces, then there's a good chance
That
you get it.
concerns me because my wife uses a lot of basil and cilantro when she cooks. So that doesn't. That scares me a little bit.
In addition to the explosive diarrhea, severe cramping, nausea, vomiting, and fatigue can occur, so be careful.
Yeah, and what I'm seeing here, it says some people have had issues for up to 2 weeks. Whew. Guess that's like natural Ozempic. You drop about 30 pounds over 2 weeks probably.
Now back in June, Florida, Louisiana, Georgia, North Carolina, Virginia, Tennessee, Massachusetts, Connecticut, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Colorado, along with Wisconsin and Alaska, all reported similar cases.
Oh, that's concerning. It's getting closer.
Well, it's not here.
No, but it's close.
We got Dr. Mel.
Just
We're fine.
don't eat anything green like I.
Yeah, Pat's going to be fine.
Don't
Landrum
do
and I are going to be in trouble. Pat's going to be fine.
I might already have the parasite.
It's been with you for a long time.
It has been.
You probably
Ever since Pat's known me. That's going to do it for us. Thanks for joining us today. We appreciate our guests, Mike Griffith, John Talty, and, of course, meet any portion of the show that you missed. You can always find it there at jocksfm.com in the Three-Man Front podcast.
What time's U.S. playing tonight?
United States plays tonight at...
Are they in San Francisco, Seattle, or L.A.? Where are they playing?
That'd be half past never, Pat. Unfortunately. If only Ireland was still in it.
They weren't in
You
it to go
have
with.
someone to root for. That's going to do it for us. Have a great, wonderful, safe rest of your Tuesday. God is great.
The United States Soccer Federation presents the U.S. Soccer Podcast.
I'm your host, Megan Klingenberg. One thing I promised you is an all-access pass that you wouldn't get on any other show. And we found out that whoever comes on scores a goal. Burhope, Freeman, Trusty. U.S. Soccer Podcast magic is real, people. We still got plenty of coverage all throughout this World Cup. Okay, let's get into it.
The U.S. Soccer Podcast, presented by Henkel. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Hey, I'm Chris Van Vliet. Go behind the scenes and beyond the headlines with the biggest names in pro wrestling and beyond.
Mr. Sandman.
All I ever wanted to be was a pro wrestler. So I got to live my life and make people really happy.
The Heartbreak Kid himself, Shawn Michaels.
Do you think there's anybody better than you were?
I think I was great at what I did, and I think other people were great at what they did as well. Greatness is more a mindset, I think, than anything else.
Mindset, motivation, insight with Chris Van Vliet. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.